A federal trial has started for a lawsuit about a traffic stop that happened in 2020. During the stop, a Black Latino Army lieutenant got pepper sprayed and put in handcuffs by Virginia police. The body camera footage shows two police officers from Windsor, Crocker and Joe Gutierrez, who was an officer back then but got fired later, using pepper spray and pointing their guns at Second Limited Caron Nazario. He had his hands up inside his vehicle. The traffic stop caused a lot of people across the country to be very upset. Virginia's Attorney General later took Windsor, a small town about 70 miles southeast of Richmond, to court. They said the town's police were unfairly treating black people. In April 2021, Nazario, the Army lieutenant, sued the officers for $1 million because of what happened. He wanted this money as a way to make up for what he went through. In August, a special prosecutor watched the video of the traffic stop. They said the video was really troubling and made them feel uncomfortable. But they also decided that the officer named Gutierrez shouldn't face criminal charges. What happened during the traffic stop? The officers explained in a police report that they stopped Nazario on December 5, 2020, because his new Chevrolet Tahoe didn't have a license plate at the back. However, there was a temporary plate shown in the rear window, as mentioned in the lawsuit. In the video, Crocker and Gutierrez took out their guns and walked up to Nazario, who was in his uniform and sitting in his SUV. Nazario then put his hands outside the window and kept asking why he was being stopped. The officers told him to get out of the Tahoe. "You're about to experience a shock, young man," Gutierrez said. The lawsuit suggests that this phrase refers to being executed in an electric chair. "I'm really scared to step out," Nazario said. "Yes, you should be," Gutierrez replied. After that, Gutierrez sprayed pepper spray many times through the window on Nazario's side, as he was in the driver's seat. When Nazario came out of his SUV, the officers made him go down on his knees. Based on the lawsuit, Gutierrez hit Nazario with his knee, and then they put handcuffs on him. Crocker then looked through the SUV, and he found a handgun. The lawsuit says that they checked and found out that the handgun was legally owned. The officers told Nazario that they wouldn't press charges against him, which could have hurt his military career, if he would just calm down and forget about this, as per the lawsuit. What does the lawsuit say? Nazario's legal case says that because of the stop, he had physical injuries and now has problems with anxiety, feeling really sad, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. The officers not only hurt Mr. Nazario, but they also aimed their guns right at him. And at some point while this was happening, they said they were going to end his life, the lawsuit claims. Mr. Nazario remembers feeling like he was going to die that night. Nazario's legal case at first said that the officers broke the rules in the Constitution by using too much force, stopping him without a good reason, and not letting him express himself freely. However, a judge named Roderick C. Young made the lawsuit smaller in what it said. The judge decided that Nazario can talk about how he was attacked, held against his will when he shouldn't have been, and that the officers checked his car without a good reason. But there are laws that protect the officers from claims that they went against Nazario's constitutional rights. What do the police officers say? In court papers, both Crocker and Gutierrez said that what Nazario claimed in his lawsuit wasn't true. They said that their actions toward Nazario were fair and that he kept not doing what they told him to do. The officers' lawyers haven't responded to a request for comment from USA Today. They also said that they didn't threaten to kill Nazario. They explained that the words "ride the lightning" were talking about a stun gun, as said by Crocker's lawyers in official court papers. Gutierrez didn't know that Crocker searched the car, so he couldn't have stopped it, as explained in official court documents. Ann C. Lauren, who is a lawyer for Crocker, mentioned in a statement to WTKR that Crocker's search for the gun was reasonable and legal. This happened after a judge decided that the officers had good reason to stop Nazario because of the license plate and to charge him with not listening to the police, blocking their work, and not obeying the rules. Limited Nazario's own actions led to things getting worse, but it was within the law, Lauren said. The police chief of Windsor said there's no need to say sorry for using pepper spray on a Black and Latino Army officer in Virginia. The lawsuit by the Attorney General says that the Windsor police have treated African Americans unfairly. They say that black drivers are pulled over and searched much more often compared to how many black people actually live in the county. The lawsuit, which was submitted to the Isle of Wight Circuit Court, claims that the town of Windsor violated the Virginia Human Rights Act and the Virginia Public Integrity and Law Enforcement Misconduct Act. Caron Nazario, NAACP wants qualified immunity to stop in Virginia after Black and Latino Army officer gets pepper sprayed by police officer. The official document presented to the court claims that out of 1,907 traffic stops that happened between July 1, 2020 and September 30, 2021, 42% of the drivers were Black. According to the U.S. Census, the Isle of Wight's population is 23% Black. The lawsuit also claims that the police department checked more cars driven by Black drivers compared to white drivers, even though Black residents are not the largest group in the town or the state. The Attorney General's case also says that there was a big difference between how many times they gave tickets and how many traffic stops they told the Windsor Town Council about. This was different from the numbers they reported to the Virginia State Police to keep track of. In every case, the numbers given to the state were smaller than what was given to the town council, and this difference hasn't been clarified yet. Herring's office announced in a news statement, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland. For many Black Americans, these deaths and others have caused lasting trauma. The state's lawsuit wants a court decision that stops Windsor from using unfair policing, and it asks for fines of $50,000 for every time they're found to break the Virginia Human Rights Act. They'd also want the court to order changes in the department's rules to make sure. As the recording goes on, the officers mentioned that they would release Nazario if he didn't talk about what happened, but they'd warn him that he could get into more trouble if he made a complaint. Nazario was eventually let go at the location and wasn't accused of anything. Governor Ralph Northam released a message on Sunday saying that the event troubled and made me upset. He told the state police to look into the matter. Jonathan Arthur, who filed a federal lawsuit last week on Nazario's behalf, thought that it was right to fire one of the officers, but he believed the other officer should face stronger punishment because he didn't stop the unfair situation. Arthur said that his client Nazario appreciated that Governor Ralph S. Northam ordered the Virginia State Police to look into what happened on December 5, 2020. This incident took place in Windsor and was recorded on both the officers' body cameras and Nazario's own phone. Arthur also mentioned that Nazario felt thankful for the support he got from the public because the video of the incident has spread widely. He feels hopeful because a lot of people are connecting with his story and are ready to stand up and talk about it, Arthur explained. The state NAACP pointed out a conversation where Nazario mentioned that he was really scared to step out of his vehicle. The officer then replied, "Yes, you should be." "We saw in shock the incident that they called a traffic stop in Windsor," said Robert N. Barnett Jr., who is the president of the Virginia NAACP. The fact that a police officer, whose job it is to protect and serve, felt confident to say to this is at the heart of the issue. This is not the first time we've seen an officer act without worrying about what will happen because of what they did. Well, that's it for today. If you found this overview informative, please subscribe, like it, and stay tuned for more insightful content. Don't hesitate to share this video to spark discussions about legal matters. Thank you for watching.